Do not get into adult work until you watch this video. I know times are tough, depending on who you ask. However, that does not mean you make a decision that's irreversible based off temporary moments. Let's get into it. But before we do, give me a thumbs up. It's free to do. It helps me reach more people and it motivates me to make more videos like this. So did you do that? All right, let's go. So we're live streaming anyways, and somebody in the comments was like, what made you get into adult work? I should get into it, huh? No, you shouldn't. You shouldn't. Long story short, I was going through divorce, and at first somebody offered to help me get into the industry, another girl, and I wasn't ready. I actually looked down on dancers and adult workers because I was like, yeah, you don't love yourself. No one's ever gonna wanna date you. I, back in the day, was super Christian and therefore I was like super red pill. But don't worry, I've been delivered and deconstructed. I just never thought I would even be in the same room as any woman who would do that. Nonetheless, turn into that woman, but I did. So the first time around, I'm like, I'm not gonna do that. Who would wanna date me? I'm a woman of class. The second time around, when things are getting tight, the budget getting strict, you working 6 days a week and you still don't have enough money left over to pay all your bills at the end of the month. How is that possible, America? Then you realize, okay, I might have to give up my dignity and my morals for a place to sleep. I might have to. Then I audition at these places, and the first place they told me no. That was a heart attack because imagine everybody says, oh, I'm gonna quit my job and be a stripper. And they don't even hire you at the strip club. Like, oh no, what am I gonna do now? What will I do? The second club hired me though. Thank goodness they were understaffed for Christmas Eve. But how do we get into lonely bands? Again, I had a friend tell me, oh, you'll make so much money off just referrals. You don't have to do anything. I told her, no, I'm straight. But then I had another friend say the same thing. So I started doing referrals first, and just like twerk videos. The same services that you would get in a strip club is what I was trying to give virtually. So I would tell everybody, oh, I'm running a virtual gentleman's club. And back in the day, this was unheard of. 2 months short of my 4th year anniversary as a dancer is when I finally gave into lonely bands. And I got so much backlash from the other dancers, even from owners and managers of adult clubs. Were like, why would you do that? Why would you put yourself online for people to see for $10 a month? Like, you can make so much, you can make $1,000 a night here. And I'm like, yeah, but if I don't have a BBL, if I don't have a big butt, if I'm not willing to do everything that these girls are doing, I'm a baddie, I really am. But I also know where I rank. Rule of life, don't even try to compete if you're not the most passionate person. If you're doing something just to get by, you are competing against people who go hard for this. I can't. If I'm not passionate about something, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna compete, I'm not gonna even try, because in the back of my mind is gonna be somebody who wants this more than me. There's girls that they do or die, and you're just not. You wanna go home at 2 a.m. You ready really to get into bed by midnight. Okay, and nothing good happens before midnight in these clubs. So there's a big disconnect in, do I belong here? Finally, I get into the lonely band situation. Lucky for me, after almost 4 years, I was able to get a work from home version of this job because it was driving me nuts to have to do substances, drink, drive, deal with people under substances. It's a bit much. It can become a lot. So the work from home version is way better. I got into running my virtual gentlemen's club, even though I didn't receive like raving reviews from people who didn't understand the process of lonely bands yet and just online experiences. I was making money. But let's roll it back a little bit more, because this whole entire conversation started with, should one of my TikTok live audience members get into adult work? I am not in the business of encouraging adult work to anybody who is not already in it. Most people make irreversible decisions based off temporary circumstances. So if you're having a hard time paying your rent this month, you don't want to change your whole entire life just to pay your rent for this month. And this is one of the reasons why it took me so long to get in the adult industry, was I had to come to terms with myself and the fact that life is going to change if you go down this path. So that's what this entire video is about. Ladies, do not join the adult industry until you make it to the very end of this video, because you have no idea what you're in for. And even though you think, oh, I look good, that's so much, oh my God, so many of my friends, oh, I have a fat, I should do lonely bands. I look like this, I got nice boobs, I got a nice face, I look so nice, I would make so much money off of my body. Just because you have a nice body doesn't mean you know how to sell it. No matter how anybody breaks it down to you, it's a sales job. So if you hate sales, because I know a lot of people that's like, well, I hate sales, I don't want to be too salesy. Being an adult entertainer is the most salesy thing you can do. And you're like personally attached to it because it's your body, it's your mind, it's your heart, it's your time. So you need to be a very good salesperson, 1. 2, you need to be a good people person. If you hate people, this ain't gonna be for you. You have to be able to be a good disarmer, especially when people are under the influence. If you get people from all types of walks of life, you know, I'm sure you get some crazy people that probably criminals coming into the club, coming into my virtual gentleman's club. I don't know they rap sheet. And that's why you have to be good with people, because you don't know, people be crazy. You can't just pop off because somebody said something degrading to you. You have to be able to go, so are we doing the dance or no? I can come back. Would you like a drink? People will call you bad words. They will call you a slur. You need to be okay with that. You can't be fighting the system. I see so many adult entertainers that are unsettled with that. That's very triggering for them to be called derogatory words or to be told, oh, nobody's gonna wanna be with you. And so they try to fight the system and like, prove I'm so smart, prove I'm worthy. No, the whole job is supposed to be a bimbification of you. I'll give you one piece of advice. If you do get into the adult industry, pick a stage name. My stage name used to be Lola, but because I had a YouTube channel before I ever started dancing, that didn't last long. People just started calling me by my normal legal name. Having a stage name is going to help you separate the character and the public persona from the actual person behind the character. So Nina versus Lola. Lola maybe is those derogatory terms because that's marketable, but Nina is not. But to the outside in the world, they only see the one person who is all encompassing, is the same person. So they're gonna call you, imagine, I don't have a stage name, so they're calling Nina derogatory terms. And you have to know that, hey, Nina is still a character and she's still a public persona. And then there's the personal Nina that other people don't know. So when they're saying these bad things and these mean things to me, they're not saying that to the personal Nina. They don't know her. They're only saying it to this character that they think or believe Nina to be. So this requires a lot of emotional maturity to even get into this. Because if you internalize it, if somebody calls you something and then you internalize it, or someone says, oh, you have father issues, and you internalize that, or if you actually do have father issues, you're gonna think your whole life is due to your father issues, when in reality, it's tons of people with father issues that are teachers, doctors, stay-at-home moms. There's no correlation to parental issues and adult work. Everyday regular people got mother and father wounds, but you have to be emotionally mature to understand that most people are not there. So this is a job that can change your mental. It could change the relationships around you. I do have guys that are like, oh, I would never date this type of person, but guess what? I would never date you. I don't want to be with somebody who wouldn't see me for me and understand that level of maturity. But you gotta understand, it's gonna be people that don't want to date you. You gotta understand, this is gonna change your life forever. Actually, I have a question for you. If you've made it to this part of the video thus far, I wanna know, would you date an adult model, an adult entertainer of any type? Yes or no, and why? Part 2, adult work is a charity job for humanity. It can be known as philanthropy. So in part 1, we discussed that your life is gonna change. Some good, some bad. Obviously, you're gonna have money if you do it right. But imagine you are a terrible entertainer. You're a terrible model. And so you make an irreversible decision. You can't take it back. And now your little intimate tape all over the internet, and people they didn't buy it. You didn't make money. Your financial status, socioeconomic status didn't change. But now you got this out there. See what I mean? Don't even try to compete unless you're actually passionate about it, because you will regret it. So moving into chapter 2, let's say you're good at this. You're good at being an adult entertainer, and now you start to see things that you didn't see before as a regular person in society. Over the course of 10 years or so, I have spoken with probably more or less about 500,000 men. to gather data on what men like, how they think. I mean, I know everything about what they like down to what women wear, how they smell. Data collected that you would never get if you were just a regular person. You can't ask. I asked 20,000 people on my Lonely Bands yesterday or a couple days ago what their favorite smell was on a woman. You can't get that data anywhere else. But also, when you know too much, you already know what happens when you guys know too much. We all know what happens when you know too much. It's not the same anymore. If you know too much about science, you no longer believe in religion. And who the hell, what is it? Hold on. Yes, it's a little loud. I'm filming right now. I'm filming. Oh, estoy grabando. Muchísimas gracias. Once you learn about the real needs of men, because a lot of times, especially when there's substances involved, men will open up to you. They will become vulnerable. They'll tell you their deepest fears, fantasies, what they want out of life. Once you are learning these men, it's like studying a specimen. I've studied specimens so much to where I know how to make the earth a better place for men. And so it becomes like a anthropology charity project to even clock in to work. How can I make these men feel better than when they logged on the computer? You learn that when you have that mindset, you actually make more money, and then you establish better relationships with your clients and customers. Rather than just, oh, I need to run these, I need to break these men. You know, they be like, I'll be trying to break these men. The women who say stuff like that, they're in survival mode. The women who've been doing this for a while and they are studying their craft, they're the ones like, my people are happy, and I don't walk away until everybody's happy, because I value their money, I value their hard work. At the end of the day, business is business, and this is sales. I need good references. I need you to bring your homeboys, bring your cousins, share my referral code, all of that stuff. The ethics of how you run your sales business will determine how much money you make and how much respect you have on your name, regardless of what people call you. One of my TikTok people just asked if it changed my perspective on dating, and the answer is absolutely. One positive aspect is that it did put me actually in a better dating pool. People would think like, oh, nobody's gonna want to date a dancer or a corn star or a Lonely Bands model, when in reality, it's like the normal middle class or lower class that typically don't want to date that, because they care about the validation of their community around them, their family, their friends. And when you enter a different tax bracket, whoa, the attitudes towards adult work are totally different. Men, rappers, politicians, all sorts of people in power who have had to make and write their own rules, they want to be with you because they understand the mindset of having to sell yourself. Especially entertainers, other entertainers understand what that feels like. Overall, my dating pool got way better after I entered the adult industry. Way more affluent men. That is more of a trophy to them than like a regular girl who doesn't do her makeup, who's like a kindergarten teacher. No offense to the girlies who are kindergarten teachers who don't do their makeup, but that is typically the type of woman that the middle class guys that care about their family approval, they want to take that home. This is a parallel to when I said I first got divorced and I was like super Christian and I was like, oh, I would never be in the same room as those girls. Again, I was super red pill because I was inexperienced. So my key takeaways are this: if you get into it, think long and hard about it. Do not make irreversible decisions or impulsive decisions based on temporary circumstances. If you just need rent this month, you'll make it happen. But if you're gonna do it, do it. Don't half-ass it. Really care about your customer service, your marketing, really big deal, and of course your looks. But also more than anything, how you treat customers, because customer service makes the world go round when it comes to sales. But also men are crazy. You guys let me know in the comments if you want more talks like this, but you know I have to watch what I say and do because I'm trying to get that coin. I'm trying to get the shmoney. So I'll see you in my next video. Bye.